Space, the final frontier. Join us for a bold conversation. Our prime directive, to recap our favorite Star Trek shows, both new and old. To engage in debate about all things Trek. Prepare to energize, with phasers set to stun.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Phasers Set to Stun, where we continue to show our love for everything Star Trek in this ongoing series from the Film by Podcast, which focuses on every quadrant of the expanding universe of Trek, by covering television, animation, movies, directors, and more. Plotting the course, as always, is your core Trek crew. I'm David Burns.
I'm Scott Hoffman.
And I'm Wayne Whited.
Onward we go in the 32nd century with Star Trek Discovery. And gentlemen, we are almost done with this series.
Yeah, we are. We're on the home stretch, yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
Today we are discussing Episode 8, Labyrinths. Black alert, spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen this episode, please stop, go view it, and come back to join us. All right, Wayne, what can you tell us about this episode?
This episode was written by Lauren Wilkinson and Eric J. Robbins, and directed by Emmanuel Ossi Kofer. On the hunt for the final piece of the progenitor's map, the USS Discovery travels to the Badlands and the Eternal Gallery and Archive, a repository of cultural and historical artifacts from both the Alpha and Beta quadrants. But the Breen are hot on their tail, and Burnham is trapped within her own mind by Dr. Durex and being tested to see if she is worthy of finding the map piece. And the struggles don't end there, as conflict on the Breen ship between Patriarch Rune and Mole see a shift of balance, power within their faction.
This Internal Gallery and Archives is really a beautiful place.
Oh, yeah.
You know, This is something we really haven't seen in Star Trek, with this massive library, full of books and artifacts from like all cultures. It truly reminded me of something from Harry Potter. It did. And I was fascinated by this library and the shots that we got in there.
Oh, yeah. It would be a great place to visit. I mean, every time I kept seeing it, I kept thinking, Picard would be like a little kid in this place with the way he loved archaeology. And I would be too. It was a phenomenal place. Good idea to keep all that information there in one place. But it was great to see. And I love how it looked like.
I feel like it probably has to have like hotel rooms. In it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it's like, how could you spend like half a day there and just be like, well, I got my one book. I'm out of here. Like,
See you later.
It's probably got plenty of facilities to keep people over. But yeah, the design aesthetic of it was beautiful. I mean, very lovingly put together, especially when you kind of zoom out and you look at it from that kind of labyrinth overlook that probably only existed in the mind. But still, just brilliant attention to detail.
It really was.
It's a very classic Star Trek concept, really. I mean, you got this big cathedral-like place in the sky full of all this information. I mean, you can see that right in the original Star Trek.
Yeah, that's true. I absolutely loved Tyrell. I loved her so much.
Yeah.
And what I loved about her character is that she was you could tell she loved her job with a passion.
Yeah.
I wish I had that today. I do. But man, I don't blame her either. I would be in heaven if I had her position.
Yeah.
And got to explore all of those books and artifacts and everything. Man, she was literally in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's got that badass Ephesian poise through the whole thing, right? Just like, so you're going to be coming here. We're in the middle of the Badlands. Pretty much the worst place in the galaxy you'd want to go. But if you don't want to die, just follow my directions and everything will be fine.
What?
And they go through the trouble to set up like a reading room for both of them. So it's like, we understand the trip that you're going through, so we're going to make it worth your while.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to, spend time looking for toothpicks in Costco. Like, we tell you exactly where to go, exactly what you need to see, so you can get through your business and get on your way.
Right. And it's very similar to, like, if you would go to one of the, like, state or national archives, they'll set aside a room for you and they'll bring the stuff to you. So that's the way it's done. I like that.
Yeah.
You mentioned both of them. How funny is it that not only did she have to go down to this place with Book, with what was going on between the two of them, but then she has to deal with him too in her own mind.
Right. Yeah.
Like, come on, are you kidding me? Could you not be Tilly?
Wait, are you talking about when she encounters Library Book?
Oh yeah.
That's his new name, Library Book, with the big shoulder pads that
yeah.
make him look like a stunt double for Kiss. But
Well, I love the line that the archivist, when she realized that his name was Book, she goes that it's rare for a book to visit her.
right. She was probably dining on that all day. Like, hey, you know what joke I just told to these new visitors? It's about the library thing.
Right. Well, as we've had in a lot of episodes this season, the opening is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Once again, you get that close-up shot of a Breen, and you just slowly pull back, and you just the camera starts moving through all of the military soldiers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what an incredible shot! I feel like I'm seeing that a lot this season. Am I?
Well,
It's a good thing.
You are, but it's right.
Are.
It's right. There's a lot of great visual effects this season. They've just blown it away with visual effects.
Yeah,
outstanding.
Yeah.
And I love, I don't know who mentioned it last episode. I don't know if it's you, Wayne, or Scott, but the voice of the Breen is just incredible. I love listening to them talk. And what I found interesting here, too, is once again, you have the Primarch who was speaking in Breen, but then he says, I'm going to start speaking in her tongue so that, basically that Mole could understand what he was saying. So, it didn't have to be repeated or anything like that. It's just so well done.
Well, and I love the fact that they write it in such a way that there's always that intentional shift.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna, shortcut this for everybody and have us continuing to speak in, universal basic or whatever you want to say. But that there's always this like, I'm going to do this because of X. So we never lose that core Breen speech pattern, which is just it's intimidating in its own right. Even when they speak in Mole's language, it still has that undertone, that kind of threatening presence.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing too, because normally on Star Trek, you get like a few seconds of them actually speaking their language, and then the rest of the episode they're speaking English.
Right.
It's nice to hear that them speak in their own language, and then there actually to be a reason for them to switch to speaking basic English.
Yeah. Man, I gotta tell you, I gotta hand it to Mole. Man, she had some guts.
She was a surprise.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Going up against him like that's crazy.
Yes, and how it resolves itself is pretty surprising.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, that takes some guts.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting in that situation, the mystery of the Breen Lieutenant. Is it Erisar?
Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce
I think that's it.
Mole kept giving these kind of knowing looks and knowing glances over to Erisar, and I don't remember if that's an established character that has some kind of connection to Locke, or that we have some kind of we're supposed to know who this is. There's a lot of me that was wondering if that's a character that she knows that's in disguise somehow, or if there's going to be some kind of switcheroo or something like that. But it seemed very interesting. There's even a little bit of it seemed like there's a British affect to their voice at one point, and I was like, is that Book in disguise or something? But I know that's not what they would do, but it was just somewhat interesting to me.
But the way she acted this episode, and the surprise at the end and everything that she did was really makes me feel that there's more to her story than we've been told yet. There's something else going on. She's got more motives. It's something that hasn't been revealed yet. So I don't know.
And I'm hoping that's where they're going, Wayne. I agree with you. I feel like there's more that they haven't fed us yet. And if not, I'm going to be disappointed a little bit. But I'll be disappointed in a way that I understand that they're kind of rushed because we've only got 10 episodes to complete this story. But on the flip side of that, it gives me like, man, how much they could have explored this character more in the Breen if we had another season,
Yeah.
Well, we've been seeing bits of her all through the season, and when we first were introduced to her in the early part of the season, she seemed like the basic standard everyday villain, and that didn't really care who she was going to walk over or who she killed or whatever. But now we got this episode, even when Breen Commander was, going against his word and was going to destroy the archive, the look that she gave him, like she's developed some sort of conscience, that she doesn't want that. I mean, that's completely different than what we had originally thought of her, 8 episodes before. So I don't know what's going on there. I love it. I love this character development that they developed, but I don't know where it's going.
And she even flipped on him a little bit when he said he was going to destroy Discovery. Remember?
Yeah.
She even freaked out about that too. So it's like, wait a minute, you didn't want anything to do with Discovery or the people on there, but all of a sudden you have a change of heart. You're right. That's another layer that we didn't expect to see coming from Mole. So yeah, absolutely well done. And speaking of that scene, when they fire on Discovery and Discovery, does its moving off to whatever you call that. It's not warping, but that was the jump. That was an incredible shot. How they made it look like they exploded, and then it jumped to the spot, and it was like all smoking. And man, that was such a cool shot.
Oh, they barely made it out of there in one piece. I mean, that was an amazing shot.
Yeah, I like that the smoke effect most of all. Like they're not quite on target. They're definitely at a disadvantage. And they're getting everybody on every available hand getting on the spore drive to try to fix it or get it underway. So it'll be interesting to see this whole kind of race aspect in the next episode. Who's going to get there first.
I did like the touch of the artifact that they had for Book. I guess it was like a cutting of the world root that was from his planet. Which is no more, obviously.
Yeah, it was destroyed last season.
Yeah, so the emotions you got to see from him just for holding that in his hand. And the fact that he said, you can take that with you. Just let us know about it later on. I love that moment. I really did.
It was such a small moment in the episode, but it was a really emotional and impactful scene.
Yeah, it was great acting by David Ahala. I think it was also interesting to see, it felt like very genuine emotion, right? Yeah. Of kind of that recovery of a precious thing that you thought was lost forever. I'd be interested to know what could be done with it. If it is a cutting from the world root, if there's anything that can be done to help, revive anything or bring anything, regrow something.
I mean, Maul believes there is.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I was also pretty surprised that they were willing to let it go, because there were certain hints about, like, if you follow certain rules, otherwise we'll toss you in what they call it, the oubliette.
Yeah.
The dungeon or whatever. But they were like, yeah, sure, take it, and if you don't bring it back, tell us what happened to it. It was like, wow. That's a pretty forgiving library. All right.
Right. You don't have that in our world. Good Lord.
No.
That book is overdue. Okay.
Where's King Kong lives?
Right.
And I want to point out, too, the whole mindscape that Burnham was in, it made her take a mental look at herself and her fears. This made the episode for me. This bit, I really found myself drawn into the story, just glued to the screen. At first, I thought maybe the episode was kind of dragging a bit at the end, but this brought me back because Sonequa Martin Green, her performance, all that emotion, that drive that she gave the character, that there was that one little bit where she wipes away that one tear. This showed why she's the star of this show. This is probably my favorite performance of her this season, if not maybe the whole series.
The whole element of her, fear of not living up to her potential.
Yeah.
And she admits that. It's even with her relationship with Book. All of that, comes out in her in that moment, and she doesn't realize that is what's going to win her to find that final piece. Is she's admitting to everything that's going on inside of her, what she's been fighting, what she's been struggling with, and weakness, being ashamed, whatever it was. She's admitting that and coming to reality about it, and finally facing those. Yeah, I agree with you, Wayne. I thought that was an incredible moment and a great performance on her part.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was that strength to own her vulnerability,
Yep.
right? And to do so in a very captain-like fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the use of lighting was very subtle and very effective.
Oh yeah.
Because it made that set seem smaller and smaller,
Oh yeah.
which became more and more of a personal conversation the deeper it went, right? Even the choice to have a cut to Dr. Culber, noticing that her what is it, her cortisol levels were revealing that she was genuinely afraid, that she was genuinely scared. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to make sure that the audience knows exactly how genuine this situation is and how genuine her feelings are in that moment. Great choices.
And once again, you've got Rayner being put in a position that he has to struggle with at times. You know, he has to make that decision. You've got 5 minutes. If she's not back in 5 minutes, we've got to go. End of story. And then the whole thing of protecting the ship too. You know, putting the people in charge that really aren't normally in charge, but go. You get the ship out of here, get it hidden so the Marine doesn't see it. And believing in that crew. Again, Rayner coming to the rescue again at times and showing more growth. We talk about this every episode with him, and they have just done such an outstanding job with that character. They really have.
Yeah, for a season who has so much to do, closing out the series, telling a great story. It's incredible that the writers have been able to squeeze these little character moments, these character growth in there. That's what's making this season for me. This is why I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Wayne. All right. Well, let's move on to some of our favorite parts of the episode. Which character did we think shined the most in the episode? I have a feeling what Wayne's is, but Wayne, go ahead and tell us, please.
Oh, for me, without a doubt, it's Mole. Yeah. It's Mole. She shined a lot this season, but and that's the sign of a well-written villain, I guess. Yep. But this episode just was incredible for her. It's we're just not so certain anymore that she really is a villain. I'm not. I don't see her that way anymore. It's obvious that she really cares and loves for Locke. She really wants him back, and she'll do anything she can to get him back. And that's her reasoning for winning the Progenitor's technology, and she's not going to let anyone stop her, as we saw. Yeah. When Rune goes against his promise and tries to have the archive destroyed, she's genuinely shocked and concerned. I don't know why. This is a very big character change, but then she starts that mutiny and kills Rune and takes over control of the Breen, which really shocked me. I was not expecting that.
No.
But altogether, it's almost as if there's more to Mole's plan than we've been led to believe. And she's developed a conscience, and that's why she's becoming a fascinating character this season. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's that layer thing. And we talked about that last episode about villains. If you can make your villain really strong and you want them as much as you want to see the hero on screen, then you've got to win. And if you care about that villain, and you obviously care about Mole, I care about Mole. Yeah. And, giving them layers that you just see, and it's fascinating. And it really pulls you into that character. You're absolutely correct, Wayne.
Yeah, Scott, it feels like they're shaping her as a chaotic protagonist.
Yeah.
Right. And she's my pick as well for just owning that situation with the Breen. When I agree, it feels like there's larger designs that we're just starting to see. For example, she is not only wiping the Erica with this to be able to live with Locke, assuming that things go to plan, but she's going so much further to say it's not just that we're going to get you out of this so they won't chase you anymore. I want to have a role in making shifts in your society that make it so that we never have to run again, and that nobody like us will ever have to run again, which seems to be where she's positioning herself.
And it's not really, if you really think about it, it's not a bad thing what she's planning on doing.
Right. And it's not a radical change. It's just a shift to say Locke and I and those like us should not have to live in fear anymore. And maybe that's what we're seeing with the mysterious lieutenant, right? That there are other people in the Breen culture who feel the same way. Yeah. And this is a way for them to just say, I don't want to be on some giant throne at the end of this.
Yep.
I just want to be free, and I want my, life mate to have the same right.
Yeah. We definitely can say that all three of us are picking Mole for this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I've got it down as well. But her character is, and I've mentioned this before, she's very intelligent. And she uses situations to fit what she needs. And if the situation changes, she changes with it. But she does it in a way that she can take advantage of it. And she does it every time. If you've noticed it through the entire season, if she's confronted with something and that she wasn't expecting, she changes with it and is able to utilize that to put her into a position of advantage. She does it every single time, and she did it here in the biggest moment of the entire season that none of us saw coming. None of us. And she almost put her position as a leadership there, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 Definitely in a position of influence.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And needing to know who to back until she can revive Locke and then see where they go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So if you could be any character in this episode, who would it be and why? Scott?
I'm going to go with the library book, the Avatar. Seems like such an interesting position to be in, to be able to basically, hold all these clues and the kind of mysterious guidance for Burnham, and just had that real calm, cool demeanor through the whole thing, meanwhile holding on to the answers. I'm thinking specifically of that scene where all the lights are going down. The light is practically out, and Book is just kind of leafing through the Labyrinths of the Mind manuscript.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a nice, subtle. It's not adding pressure to the situation. It's just letting those revelations from Burnham unfold. And I don't know. It just seemed like a fun position to be in with everybody else under so much like life or death stress.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick. Wayne, what about you?
Well, I thought mine would be a weird answer, but after talking about her earlier, maybe not. I'm going to say Hyro, the archivist. I would love to be her because the Eternal Gallery, it seems like one of the most fascinating places I've ever seen on Star Trek. And can you imagine having the run of the place and being able to learn so much about everything in the galaxy? It would be a dream come true to me. I mean, I love reading about facts and events I'd never heard of. I do it actually every night before I go to bed. I just open up a book that I've never read and just read facts. So I love to learn, and she's just in that perfect place to be able to do it. So I want to be her.
It's funny. I thought I was going to be the only one that picked Hyrel, and here Wayne beats me to her. No, I completely agree with you, though. First off, I loved Lena Watko, I believe is how you pronounce her name, who plays Hyrel. I love the giddiness of her. I love how much she's like a child. She loves her job. She loves where she's at, and she loves when people come to visit the library. I mean, she's like the perfect librarian, She loves what she does, and when she sees people enjoying it too, she gets enjoyment out of that as well. And Elena played the part perfectly, man. And I fell in love with her immediately. Like once she popped up,
I did too.
I fell in love with her. I was like, this is going to be a really cool character to get to know. And sure enough, it really was. And you're right, Wayne. I would love to just be there all the time because the stuff that you could learn.
I know. Never get bored.
It would never end. It would never end at all of everything that's in that place. Just craziness. But I completely agree.
I feel like I would want to have whatever they're using in Insurrection, where it was this ability to kind of slow down time, to have that kind of tech or that kind of affect given to the reading rooms. So it's oh my God. I could be here for hours, but spend a couple of minutes and you're done, right?
Good idea.
Easy. All right, so I didn't catch any, but were there any Easter eggs in this episode?
Oh, yeah, there were a lot of them.
A
lot of really good ones. Well, I mentioned on last week's podcast that I thought the Archivist was the Afrosian race, and it turns out I was right. That's the same race that the Federation president was in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. And I believe, doing my research, I couldn't find any other references, but I believe this is the first time that we've ever seen this race appear on any of the television series outside of the Star Trek VI. And there was also one in Star Trek IV. So that's a first right there for the TV shows.
Nice.
And then a big one, and I I caught this one right away because this made me chuckle. But when Burnham is sent into the mindscape, it's they used a nucleonic beam. This is the same thing that was used when the Catan probe sent all those lifetime memories into Captain Picard in the Next Generation episode Inner Light. Exactly the same, and the way they were monitoring her on the floor reminded me so much of Picard when he was on the floor in the bridge. And another one that also made me laugh is this was a quick shot. I had to go back and check this to make sure I actually read this. But one of the books that was listed that Marina Derrick said checked out of the archive was The Comprehensive Guide to Talaxian Hairstyles, which they should have given a copy of that book to Neelix because he definitely needed it. You see his hair. Another one is Jet Reno. She mentions that she once visited the planet Hesperia. We've seen that once before. That was that Renaissance fair-like planet that Lieutenant Commander Andy Billups was from on the he's the officer on the USS Cerritos in Lower Decks. That's the planet he came from.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
Yeah, and this isn't so much of an Easter egg. This is something I found on the internet when I was doing the research. Just a neat little bit of info. But during the filming of this episode, actor Patrick Kwok Chun, who plays Commander Reese, said when he was filming his scenes on the Discovery Bridge, he was doing it while his wife was in labor with their first child.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, good God.
Wow, that's a lot, Wayne. Clearly, I missed a lot, and you picked it all up. Good, well done.
Yep, as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, as always. All right, what are we looking at episode 9, guys? Like I said, we're almost to the end of this season, almost to the end of the series. So what do we think is going to happen? I believe the next episode is called Lagrange Point.
That's right. And guess who it's directed by?
Mr. Frakes?
Yes, Jonathan Frakes.
Woo-hoo!
Yes.
Mr. Frakes is finally joining us.
Well, there was that clip. I think we say this every time, but that clip really didn't show us hardly anything. I mean, it didn't tell us anything about that episode. What was it? It looked like they've made partial repairs, and they do a very nausea-inducing jump to where the brain is. That was. I looked like they spun with the ship. It didn't look like it went very well.
No.
So. Yeah. The one thing I do want to say, just from this episode and from looking at that clip, is the way the Discovery is really taking a beating. It's making me start to wonder if the ship is actually going to survive the season.
I don't know. It might not. Because you're right. It is taking a freaking beating.
It's really wrecked up now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some interesting things that I saw online. I forget where it was. It may have been on the Star Trek website, but references to Discovery as Discovery A.
Oh, yeah.
Is that kind of an interesting slip, or is that something that's always been there?
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, if the ship doesn't survive, I was thinking, well, maybe they're going to show a new 32nd century version of the Discovery A. It could happen.
Yeah, it could.
And I guess along those lines, if they decided to decommission Spore Drive tech.
Yeah.
And it was mentioned too that they went back and they filmed more scenes for that final episode because they didn't know at the time they were originally filming it that it was going to be this series finale. That could very well fit in those scenes. I could see them doing a shot of a whole scene where they're getting a new ship.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see at the end for sure. No Saru again. Man, we've only got 2 episodes left. I mean,
I think he's
yeah.
I think he's back next episode. I'm not certain, but I know he's supposed to be back. He is coming back. He said that, but I think he's coming back next episode.
Good. I hope so. I really do miss him.
Yeah, I do too.
I appreciate everybody on the bridge crew, but I miss our core pilots.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So hopefully they have a chance to interact again.
Yeah, we hope so. All right. Well, Wayne and Scott, thanks again, as always, in joining me in discussing Star Trek. It's always fun.
Always a pleasure.
All right. Long will he reign. As always, thanks to our listeners for joining us. Hailing frequencies are always open for you to share your thoughts, comments, and questions. You can email us at afilmbypodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and other media platforms. Let us know what you thought of the episode, and you might get mentioned on an upcoming show. You can also find all the Phaser Set to Stun episodes online at afilmbypodcast.com. And if you're looking for more exclusive content and swag, send some Latinum our way through Patreon. See you next time for another episode of Phasers Set to Stun.